Good morning, angels. I hope we're having an amazing day today. You're about to have an amazing day. Set your intention. It's actually really powerful to wake up and go, today's going to be a great day. I'm going to have a great energy day today. I'm going to bring my best energy forward. It is really, really powerful. I am feeling so energetic. Look at my if you're listening, you can't see, but I've got like this beautiful lime green top on. I'm still in my activewear from bar this morning. It's a Friday morning. I love my 5 a.m. bar class that I teach. I always feel so alive and so energetic when I finish. So I'll probably speak 100 miles an hour today. I've got my lime green top on. I get this from LSKD. Actually, they have some beautiful activewear, and you can use the promo code EarthyCrew15 for a discount. Anyway, I got off track, but I was a bit admiring my top in the phone, in the camera, because it looks really beautiful, but very, very bright today. But that's how I'm feeling. I'm feeling full of energy because I have just come back from a holiday. I just had a week in Noosa with my family, and what I want to talk to you about today is about exercise and fitness and routines when you go away on holidays, because I've had a background as a personal trainer, group fitness instructor. I've worked with women for many, many years, and I would often get this feeling around this question around, should I work out when I go on holidays? Should I rest? I feel guilty if I stop. So I want to give you just a little bit of perspective, which might help you, I guess, really tune into what feels right for you, because there's no hard and fast answer to this question. And how this all come about is I got back 2 days ago, and last night I was talking to my husband, and I was talking to him about a podcast that I was listening to about it was a fitness influencer. And I said to Tom, have you heard of her? Do you know her? And he goes, oh yeah, actually I have seen her. He goes, man, she's intense. She's so extreme. Like, I just saw something that she posted around, she's on holidays and she's still working out to the extreme with all of her kids in the caravan park, like using gas bottles for weights and things like that. And she's a bit full on for my liking. And that's how we kind of got into this discussion around, what prompted this episode actually is because, like, I used to be a personal trainer. Look, I still always am, and I would, some holidays I would really work out hard, and other holidays I would have a bit of a break. And so that's what I want to have a chat with you about today, because honestly, there is no right or wrong answer. I think what we have to learn to do, and this is what I really want to teach you guys, is learn to tune into you. What does your heart and soul need in the moment, and what feels in alignment for you? So I always go with the intention that I'm going to move my body in some way, shape, or form. I'm going to bring some kind of fitness routine into my holiday because it gives me energy. It always restores me. It always gives me energy. I have more energy to do the fun things with my kids. I have more energy to keep up with life, to keep up with my husband, and get the most out of a holiday, because I figure when I'm there, like, I want to see things, I want to do things, but I also am a lazy sloth. Like, I also can embody that energy of being so mindful and so present and really switching off and enjoying the place where I'm at as well. So I tend to hover a little bit between the two, I guess you would say. So we just went to Noosa for a week. It was like my mum and dad, my sisters, and all their kids. So there was a whole big group of us. And we just had the most amazing time. I always, like, it was just a local holiday, and I pack my yoga mat whenever I go away. Unless it's overseas, I tend not to pack it, but I'll find something, right? Even if it's just using a towel. And so I pack my yoga mat with the intention, like, I might just do a bit of gentle yoga practice in the morning, but always having the, I guess, the feeling of I will feel into what I need at the moment. So long story short, I didn't even pull it out. I did not even use it. And I always pack books. Whenever I travel, I've been traveling for a number of years, I always pack one or two books with me. And it's always some kind of spiritual book or something that I don't want to overthink when I'm on holidays. I don't want to be diving into some real deep, I guess, some mindset work or something that is, like, I love Stephen Covey, The Habits of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. But that's not the kind of book that I want to read on holidays. I want something that is real deep and spiritual and really speaks to my soul. And I know I can look back at the holidays that I've been on, and I can tell you the books that I have read on those holidays because I was so in the moment on certain beaches or overlooking certain views, waking up early in the morning and reading my book. So I got off my train of thought. So where I was going with that is back to Noosa. So we spent a week up there with the family, and I did not get my yoga mat out at all. And I found in the morning that what I wanted to do was wake up. I'm when I travel local, sometimes don't laugh at me, but I take my blender, like my Vitamix, because I love my smoothies and I love my raw cacao. So, but I won't take it overseas. But I took my blender, so I really enjoyed the mornings. We were like over the Noosa river. You could kind of see out to where it goes, or out to the seaway. Really beautiful, peaceful view. And this nice hotel that we stayed, or resort we stayed at, had a beautiful little deck down by the water. And I would take my raw cacao, I would take my book, and I would go down and just lay on the sun lounge there first thing in the morning, watch the sunrise over the water, and read my book. And that's what I felt I needed on this particular holiday. Sometimes like my little niece and nephew would come down, and they would come down and I'd only get 15 minutes into reading, and they would kind of see me from the patio and yell out and come down and just have a little play and feed the fish in front of me, which was so nice as well. It was just really beautiful to spend time with them. But I did not feel the urge to heavily practice. I always pack activewear, I always pack my sneakers, and because I just want to be prepared. And I did lots of walking. So we did loads and loads of walking on this trip. But first thing in the morning, I just felt, you know what it was? I felt we've had a big year, and I know that some of you will go away on holidays like this where you feel you've just had so much going on that you might feel a little bit burnt out, you might feel a bit exhausted, that you just really need to have a bit of a rest and have a bit of a sleep in. So my husband and I are completely opposite. I am an early morning person. I'm happy to get up at sunrise. I'm happy to go out and exercise. And for him, he likes to sleep in because that is the way. He's just one of these people. He just always has to be doing something. And so for him, when he sleeps in, it actually takes away the stress of I have to get up and do something. He's not one to sit still very often. So for him, he enjoys the sleep in because it's when he can restore, replenish, and rest. So when we go on holidays, he always sleeps in and I often get up early, but we're always doing some kind of physical activity. So on this particular holiday, we got up, we did walks, we spent a lot of time like with the kids, we did a lot of swimming, we kind of hired some pontoon boats and things and went out with the family and just had that balance of a bit of activity but a bit of rest. But I did not hit the gym. Like I planned to go to the gym if the opportunity come up, if I felt like it, I was prepped to. I didn't even roll out my mat and I didn't even go to the gym, but I knew that's what I needed on this particular holiday. I just really needed to switch off and have a really good break because I had felt with the last year had just been busy energetically as well as physically as well as emotionally. We moved house, we've been renovating. I just really felt like I just needed to switch off. So some holidays you might feel like that, where you feel like you just really need a rest. But I still enjoy the activity of walking. I still like to bring some energizing activity into my morning. And for me, often of a morning, it's just to get up, watch the sunrise, tune into Mother Nature, be in that peacefulness, because it's amazing how the spiritual practices or how being out in nature or just going for a nice walk can actually really give you energy as well. It's like a really beautiful energy cleanser. So then you feel like you've got more energy to give to your family. But then sometimes you might go away and go, I just actually really need to sleep in. I am so overwhelmed, and you just need to have a bit of a break and have a bit of a rest. And that's okay too. So I know for me over the years, so as a personal trainer, I have been on many holidays where I would hit the gym all the time. I've been on holidays where I would exercise every single day. I would have my phone too, and I'd like be taking, selfies or filming a bit of content and sharing with my community about the kind of exercise that you can do in your hotel room. I know, like we went on a trip to Mexico and I took with me, I often do this, I didn't this trip, but I took my Pilates ball, because sometimes all I need is like your Pilates softball. I can deflate it, squish it down, pack it in my suitcase, and a resistance band, and just use a hotel towel. And so I would sometimes film things on my patio. And this is one thing I did when we went to Mexico, this beautiful big deck overlooking the ocean. And I would set up my towel and I would just do some movement first thing in the morning. And then other days I would take we stayed in this beautiful resort that had all these, like, it was almost like a market hall, and it had all these different like restaurant style at this resort. And there was like a green kind of a juice bar, and I'd go and get a green juice, and I would sit with my book at this beautiful cafe which overlooked the ocean. And sometimes, some days I would do that, some days I would work out. And they had I love hotels that offer classes, and they would have yoga down on the sand by the beach. So other mornings I would be up there in sunrise and I would be on the beachfront doing my yoga, because I really love waking up with the sunrise at different places and just getting a feel for what it's like. Because for me, the sun is like being plugged into a phone charger. It energizes me, it makes me feel cleansed, renewed, vibrant, and I just feel so good all day. And when I move my body, it makes me want to go and eat well. So then I'll have like a nice hearty breakfast, usually like a green juice or a smoothie. I love those breakfast buffets where they do actual like little ginger shots or little juice shots. It really sets me up, because then I have so much energy for the things that I want to do with my family. On another holiday we went to just last New Year's, we went to Ubud, Bali, the islands, went to like Nusa Lembongan, Lombok, Gili Islands, and we were gone for 3 weeks. So if I'm going for a long holiday like that, I can't not move my body, because I will feel like an absolute sloth when I come home, and I will feel really lethargic. And so for me, on this particular holiday, some mornings I would get up and do a bit of yoga. I would just use the towel at some resorts. And again, I'd film a little bit of content for my community, just a tiny bit, because I don't want to be filming all the time. And then I would just really enjoy being present. And I would set my towel up, do a bit of yoga. Some mornings I would take my towel down to the beach, do a bit of exercise down there. Some mornings depends on the hotel, I would go and I would use the gym. But what we found on this holiday was we were doing so much physical work, because my kids are not fun. My kids are a bit older now, they're 18 and 20. So we would go quad biking, we would go heaps and heaps of walking. We went snorkeling on the Gili Islands. We would go out in the boat for the day. We'd go snorkeling. We hired bikes. We would ride around some of these islands on bikes. We went and did the volcano trek on sunrise, like to drag their butts out of bed for that one. It was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. We had to get up and then go and trek this volcano on sunrise. So there are holidays that I've been on like that, where we do a lot of physical activity as a family, that I feel my quote has been met. I feel my cup is full. I feel I'm full of energy. But I also like to balance that out with days where I might have a bit of a sleep in, and I might just, not set an alarm and just get up when I feel like it, because I think that is really important on holidays as well. Then I've had holidays where we have gone to, like, it's been like a experience holiday. So like when we took the kids to South Africa, we went to a game lodge. We went to it's just lost me, the Palace of the Lost City, and we went to another place. What's that river? Botswana. There's no gyms, like there's no, there's not a lot of facilities at places like this where you can actually exercise. But again, we were still walking. We were up early. We were doing like game drives, so super early in the morning. And so we were still moving our body. But on that holiday, it was a time difference as well, right? So it's a big trek getting over there. There was a bit of a time difference where some mornings I I actually just need to sleep in, because my body feels like it needs a little bit of a rest. So to give you an idea, to give you a bit of background, so like we've been traveling with our kids. Tom and I love to travel, and the kids are part of our package. And we have been traveling with the kids since Riley was about 1 when we first took her overseas, and we went to, it was just local, to Fiji. And so we've been doing lots of big overseas trips with our kids for many years. And I found that a lot of mornings, They would be exhausted. The rest of the family would like a bit of a sleep in. I would get up early and I would either go and hit the gym, I would do like a hotel class if they offered a class, or I would get up early and go for a walk along the beach. And we were still doing that kind of family walking throughout the holiday as well. But I found that it gives me energy. It makes me feel so good that I get the most out of my holiday, because I would think, like I'm overseas or I'm at this certain place where I may never get back there again. I really want to make the most of it. I want to see as much as I can. So for me, getting up early, having a nice healthy breakfast, I had so much more energy to get the most out of my day. And I did it because it made me feel good. I didn't do it because I was guilty and I needed to stick with a particular routine, or because, like I'd been working so hard on goals beforehand that, okay, I've got to keep it up, I'm on my holiday. No, I did it because it felt good in the moment, that it gave me energy, and it was exactly what I needed. But then I've gone on holidays where, just like this week just gone, where I have felt tired. I felt like I really needed a break, and I felt like I just needed to completely not do anything at all and just really enjoy getting up when my body wanted me to get up, having a sleep in if I wanted to have a sleep in, but actually just resting my body. But what I found over the years is I've done it guilt-free, and I've done it because it was actually what I needed. My body was craving a rest. And I remember going to when I was on my yoga teacher training, we had this beautiful teacher come in. She was an older teacher. Her name was Rose, and she was in maybe her 70s, I think. And she said something that really stuck with me. She said, often yogis would come in, the kind of yogis that have energy and they want to stand on their head. They want to do the headstands. They want to do all the high intense stuff. They're the ones that sometimes need to go into the practice of yin, or they need to do restorative yoga, or they need to do the practice that is actually slowing down, not what they're comfortable with, not what they want to do all the time, not what their brain is telling them to do. It's doing that bit of opposition. Whereas sometimes the people that would come to class that were maybe a little bit lazier, maybe didn't move too much, would enjoy doing, the slower practices. Sometimes they need that yin and yang. Sometimes they need the practice of, getting out of their comfort zone a little bit more, or moving their body a little bit more, or doing something with a little bit more energy, a little bit more vinyasa flow to really give them more energy and getting out of their comfort zone. And that really stuck with me, because back then when I did my yoga teacher training, I was always high intense, go, wanted to do the hard stuff in class, felt like I always had to be on my A game. And that kind of stuck with me, and it really gave me permission to go, I actually need to really enjoy doing the opposite. And so I started to fall in love with more of I used to find restorative yoga boring, if I would tell you the honest truth. And I listened to what she said and I thought, okay, I'm really going to give this a go. And I started to do more restorative yoga. I started to do more yin yoga, and I started to really enjoy that balance, that balance of energy. Like, we need the high intense, we need the, practice that gives us energy. But we also need that yin and yang, that masculine and feminine. We also need those times of slowing down, of going within, of enjoying the stillness, enjoying the moment, and enjoying the mindfulness. So I've adopted that when I would travel or when I would go on holidays. And I've really learned over the years, from coming from that background of a personal trainer, like doing all the HIIT, all the high intense stuff, to kind of flipping it and really falling in love with slowing down, falling in love with stillness, falling in love with slow, mindful movement, because both are so important. But what I've learned over the years with a lot of my practice, with a lot of my inner work, with a lot of my spiritual practice, is learning to listen to my body's needs. And that's what I want to encourage you to do when you go on holidays. Be prepared. Pack your shoes, pack your active wear, pack, if you want to throw in a little bit of gentle, small squishy equipment that can fit into your suitcase, take it. If you want to use it, use it. But if you feel you really need a rest and you just need to switch off from everyone and everything and just be so present, because this is what Tom said to me when we were talking about this influencer last night. He goes, Why can't she just enjoy the holiday with her kids and not have to do all the high intense stuff and be filming everything that she's doing? That is what sometimes you need. Like, just enjoy the moments with your family, just enjoy the moments with your loved ones. However, I said to Tom, it is so important, I think, when you go away to fill your own cup up as well. And for some people, filling their cup up, yes, it's doing the high intense exercise. It's going to the gym every morning. We've got a friend that we travel overseas with. He's always running. Everywhere we go, he's always running every single day, because for him, that lights him up. That makes him feel good. Like, he likes the experience of running and seeing different cultures and seeing different places. So that's my point. What fills your cup up? What leaves you feeling good? But really learning to honor not only your body's needs in the moment, but honor your soul's needs and honor your spiritual needs, your emotional needs, your mental needs. Because one thing that I've really learned is I've gone on holidays and I have like indulged, and which I think is really fun to do. I think it's good to taste the food, to enjoy, but I've come back feeling worse than when I've left. So I really started to think, like, I want my holiday to replenish me. I want my holiday to restore me. I want my holiday leaving me feeling good. So I've had holidays where I've gone away and I've eaten so clean, still had ice cream with the kids, all about balance, right? Or still indulged in the local foods. But I would always start my day with some kind of breakfast. I'm a waste of money at the breakfast buffet because I will just seriously, Tom goes, we'd be spending money on these, breakfast buffets, or they're included. And Tom's like, you just eat your Bircher muesli and juice. I'm like, pretty much. Sometimes I'll have some eggs on toast, but I always love to replenish my body and to do what leaves me feeling good. So I come back from a holiday feeling restored, feeling refreshed, feeling better than when I left. And so I've really learnt about balance and really learnt about tuning into what does my body, my mind, and my soul need on this particular trip. So I know that hasn't really given you any, yes or no answer, but like everything, there isn't always a yes or no answer. The answer is tuning into yourself. The answer is tuning into your body. The answer is tuning into what does my soul need in this moment, and give yourself permission to do it. If you're someone that works out all the time and you feel this holiday, I just need a rest, do it, and don't feel guilty. Allow yourself the space, allow yourself the grace, allow yourself the headspace to go, this is what I need, and I'm honoring it. And if you're someone who, yes, you go on holidays with your family or with your friends and you need to spend a little bit of time by yourself, again, don't feel guilty about that. I was on holidays with my family, my extended family, but I know for me to fill my cup up, I need to go and get half an hour by myself first thing in the morning, whether it's reading a book by the pool, whether it's going for a walk, whether it's doing a bit of movement, whether it's just sitting in mindfulness. Is for me, I need that little bit of time on my own, because that is my self-care, that is filling my cup up, that is restoring my body, mind, and soul. And I want to encourage you to do the same thing. If that's what you need, give yourself the grace to do that. Ask your partner, ask who you're with, can you just watch the kids in the morning so I can go and do this? But then flipping it, what can they do that fills their cup up? Like sometimes it might be you go and do what you need in the morning, but then you watch the kids for a little bit because, your partner might want to spend a bit of time having a drink by the pool or going out and doing what they want to do. That is so important. It's honoring each other's needs, having time with your family, but having time with yourself, like really getting out of your holiday what you need, guilt free. I think that's the most important thing, is whatever you're used to doing, allow yourself to do what you need on your break, guilt free. And if you need to work out every day because that's what you love and that's what lights you up, do it. There's no right or wrong answer, but it's about honoring what you need in the moment. So anyway, I wanted to share a bit of that with you. I wanted to, I guess, just give you permission to go, this is what I need, and I'm going to do it, because I work with so many mums who are just torn by this guilt, or who are torn by what I have to do to please everybody else. and they come back from their trips feeling like they've spent this whole time running around, pleasing everybody else, prepping all the, organizing all the kids, that they come back feeling just exhausted, and they come back feeling like I actually haven't had a holiday, and or they are so regimented on their holiday that sometimes you just need to let go of the routine a little bit, let go of the reins a little bit. You don't have to plan everything, but be a little bit of that fly by the seat of my pants kind of girl and feel into what you need at the moment instead of having everything booked and everything planned. Go with the flow, going with that feminine energy of flow, of grace, of tuning in, of listening to your intuition and feeling into what you need in the moment is the best advice that I can give you. So I hope that helps. I think that is all I wanted to cover. Sometimes I jump on, I just have a chat with you guys and I don't really have any notes, but I've kind of got it stored in here what I want to go through. So I'm pretty sure I've covered everything. But I'm going to leave it at that. I'm going to wrap it up, and I just want to send you so much light, send you so much love, and just so much fun. When you go away on your trips, have fun. Unleash your inner wild woman. Have experience. Have adventure. Do things with your kids. Get down to the kids' level. Like it was funny being away with my family this last weekend, or this last week. My cousins, my tiny little cousins, they're 2 and 4, come running into our apartment. We had like all 3 apartments together. They come running into our apartment going, a monster's chasing us, a monster chasing us. And it was my dad, who's just about to turn 70, he's running around after them going, rah, pretending to be this monster. And you know what I love, and I've learned from him, he always gets down to the kids' level, and it makes it so much more enjoyable for the kids. It makes it so much more enjoyable for them, and it makes it so much more you just have these memories that live in your heart and soul forever. That's what I wanted. I knew there was one more thing I wanted to touch on is memories and experiences. When I've gone on my trips with my family, I've got down to the kids level. Tom and I have a way of always doing that. We do the fun things that they want to do. And this is why I keep fit and healthy and active, is so I've got energy to keep up with my kids. Like I've got a bit of a wild, crazy, adventurous spirit in me. Like I was bridge jumping with my son and my nephews on the weekend. I love getting down to their level and having fun with the kids. We've done we've gone snorkeling, done plenty of like snorkeling with the kids, swimming with whale sharks, like extreme kind of things, zip lining, lots of really, really fun things. As the kids get older, the experiences get that little bit more wild. Like we love quad biking. We've taken them quad biking through like lots of different really, really cool places. But when you are so present, and this is one thing that I've learned, that I look back and I think about all these trips that I've been on, all the holidays, whether they're local camping trips, whether they're overseas, amazing adventures. When you are so present and with your kids, it's like these memories sink in your heart and soul. They, like they just stay so embodied, and I can remember them like they were yesterday. And when I have more of a mindful practice, like I said, I can remember certain beaches I've been on, reading certain books, because I was so in the moment and I was just really taking in everything that was all around me, taking in the scents, taking in the foods, taking in the sights, taking everything in. It's like I can remember these trips like they were yesterday. We said to the kids, actually, when we were on holidays just gone, we said to them, do you remember, because some of these trips we've taken them on when they were younger, and I said to them, do you remember like when we went to South Africa, and some things they can remember and some things they can't? There was trips when they were a little bit littler. Like I said to Brock, we took them to I got a point. It's not about my holidays that I've been on with the kids. It's not about that. I've got a point. And I said to him, do you remember like when we took you to Legoland, like you cried so much when you got in the car and we had to leave? He didn't want to leave it because we stayed at this Legoland resort. And the resort was like this kid's paradise. The room was decked out like you pick a theme room. Anyway, it was really, really cool. And he sat in the back of the car, his little head down, and he cried and cried and cried when we left. And I said, do you remember that? And some of those things he doesn't remember. But do you know what? I remember, Tom and I remember, and some of the big reasons we've gone on these adventures with the kids or gone on these experiences with the kids is when you are so mindful. And this is what all these practices teach you, the yoga, the meditation, the being out in nature, all these beautiful mindful moments. These practices teach you that you are just so present with your family. You are so present with your kids that Tom and I remember. They might not remember some of these experiences, but we remember the look on their face. We remember the look on their face the first time they saw like an animal out, when the first time Brock saw a cheetah, and all these things, like the look of awe on their face, all these little experiences that they've had, we remember. And it's because we've been so present and so mindful and so full of energy. And this is the really big point that I want to leave you with, is when you take care of yourself, when you take care of your body, it's what you do every little single day. This is not just about the holiday, what you do every little single day, the eating well, the learning the mindful practices, the taking care of your body, the having the energy to keep up with your kids. It gives you the most out of life. And that's why I work out. That's why I take care of myself. That's why I fill my cup up. That's why I want to embody. I want to teach to my kids. And I want to go and have these experiences because I'm full of energy. I'm fit. I'm healthy. I look back all over the years of these experiences, these holidays, these trips that we've been on, and I have so much energy to give to my family because I filled my cup up first and I have taken care of myself first. So that's what I want to leave with you. I know I said 10 minutes ago I was going to wrap this up, but I forgot. This is what I wanted to talk about as well. But that is what I want to leave with you. Take care of yourself, my friends, because when you take care of yourself, you have so much energy. You have so much enthusiasm. You have a better attitude. You just have so much to give to your family, to give to your loved ones, but also to have the most amazing experience of your life. And that is why I take care of myself, is because I want to have the best life experience for me, my partner, for my family, for my loved ones, and have energy to keep up with life and have energy to keep up with those around me that I care about. And I know you do too. So now I'm wrapping it up. I hope that helps, and I hope that just leaves you with a little bit of perspective. And I will see you in the next episode, my friends. So much love to you all. Bye.